Hey everybody, today we are going to be making smoked pork. I have never done this before. I have a gas grill, not a smoker, so we're going to kind of figure it out together. The idea of this is I am not a trained chef. I don't have all the gear you need, but if I can do it, you can do it. So maybe we can figure it out together. So first things first, we need to make a rub and then let the pork sit. And then because it's just a small little pork loin, just little, it's not even a full kilogram, it's like 2.5 pounds. We only need to let it sit for a couple hours, and then it's not going to take that long to smoke it on my gas grill, because smokers are a totally different beast, and worst case scenario, we're going to end up with barbecued pork. Best case scenario, we end up with smoked pork. So let's figure it out. First things first, let's take care of that rub. All right, so the key to any good rub is you want to start with sugar and salt. It's going to give it this beautiful crust, and yeah, it just makes it like this really sticky, crunchy deliciousness. And I'm going to be using applewood to smoke it today. So we'll try that. So here's what's in it. We're going to put brown sugar. I like pink Himalayan sea salt because I'm fancy like that. Cayenne pepper. Cumin. Paprika. Onion powder. Garlic powder. Pepper. Alright, so first things first. I am actually going to take this pork out of its package. So let's remove this, and then I'm going to put it on just a board with some paper towel, because that is going to make it, just get it out of my way. So here we go. Do make sure you wash your hands. It's COVID times. You should be washing your hands all the time anyway, but we are handling raw meat. So let's make sure that that's taken care of. All right. So it's a sirloin pork roast, which means it doesn't have a lot of extra fat on it. So I will probably take this and some of this rub and turn it into a bit of a marinade to spray on it as well, because that's what fancy pants chefs do, and I'm going to see what happens. I don't know. Like I said, I've never done this before. Let's figure it out. So we've got the pork just kind of coming to room temperature here. I'm going to take a medium-sized mixing bowl. And you kind of want to do like a ratio of 1 to 1. That just really allows the sugar-salt situation to, you know, do its thing. And plus, I'm going to make way more than I need, because then it keeps really well. You just keep it in an airtight container in the fridge, and you're good to go. Okay, so first things first, let's open this bag of brown sugar with my obnoxiously large knife. Be careful, I'm an idiot, but I also am in the kitchen a lot because it's quarantine time. Alrighty. I also, if you're paying attention at home, melted the hell out of this by trying to warm up butter in the microwave, and it did very poorly. So, you know, that microwave right there. Asshole microwave. Also, that's my teeny tiny little barbecue on top. It's really adorable, and I got it for $50 on sale at Canadian Tire, and it has made my quarantine. Like, just straight up made my quarantine. I've been barbecuing pretty much non-stop. I live in not a tiny apartment. I live in a nice-sized one-bedroom apartment, and it doesn't have a lot of outdoor space, and I'm on the 3rd floor with a tiny deck that until this year was, let's say, not really set up for human living. But thanks to quarantine, I have had the time to clean that up, so it's actually pretty nice. All right. So, I did a loose pack. It's nothing serious. It's just a cup of brown sugar. Boom, dump. Alright. So, this is going to sound excessive, but remember, the point of this is to be a salty, sugary mix, and we're not putting all of this on the pork. The next step is a half a cup of salt, which sounds appalling, and I know that. I know that that sounds like too much salt, but trust me, guys, you're going to want it. And they do want coarse. So obviously Himalayan sea salt is a little fancy pants. But it's gonna make it so pretty. Look, it's so pink. Brown sugar, pink sea salt is pretty already. Okay, so those are our two main ingredients of this. And now we get to the seasonings. I like a little bit on this more savory side than sweet. And where we've got a brown sugar base, I think that we can really pump up the savory, a little bit of spicy. First things first, and this again, remember, these are all ratios. The reason why we pack so much flavor into this stuff is because it's not going to be penetrating the meat all the way through. I'm only going to be leaving this rub on for a couple of hours. A lot of people do it overnight, but where this is a leaner cut of meat and it's a smaller cut, I don't really feel like I need to do this overnight. I might be wrong. Who knows? We're going to figure it out. So I've got my 1 cup of brown sugar. I've got my half cup of salt. Now we're going to do 4 tablespoons. Don't mind my very broken measuring spoon. 4 tablespoons of paprika. And this image is backwards, but I promise you, it says paprika. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it smells so smoky already. 4. This is gonna give the pork such a beautiful red color. I'm really excited. Let's see what happens. Alright, 4 tablespoons of paprika. Now it's gonna be 2 tablespoons of black pepper. I'm not gonna measure it because I'm grinding it fresh. So kind of eyeball it. It's a lot of pepper. Like, I'm just gonna go to town. So give me like 30 seconds while I just go to town on this. This is like the nightmare scenario for a waiter when they say, "Tell me when to stop." And I'm like, "Wow, never stop. Never stop, never stopping." Okay, so just tilt that up a little bit. You'll see that's a lot of pepper. Whoops, mixed it all together already. All right, half a tablespoon of cumin. You know what? I really like cumin. I think it's an amazing flavor, especially for something that is being barbecued. So I might do like a heaping tablespoon of cumin. Again, this rub is kind of subjective. It's whatever you want. I grabbed this off of, it's like 3/4 of a tablespoon. I grabbed this off of Pinterest because I grab everything off of Pinterest and combined it with a couple of different recipes, just taking flavors I like. All right, now it is going to be a half tablespoon of onion powder. Not to be confused with onion salt. There's already enough salt in this. We do not want to add more because then it's just too salty. Like, no other reason, really. All right. Half tablespoon of onion powder. I accidentally put onion salt in something I called for onion powder once. Oh, it was so much. It was just unnecessarily salty. All right, same with garlic powder. Do not confuse it with garlic salt. Otherwise, it's going to taste like you are eating a Bloody Mary, maybe? I don't know how salty you make your Bloody Marys. I make my Bloody Marys really salty because they're a hangover cure. Alright. And I like garlic a lot, so I'm gonna like 3/4 of a tablespoon. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, and then finally, for the heat, because the paprika wasn't enough, we're gonna do just a teaspoon. Just a teaspoon of cayenne. You don't need a lot more than that. Again, cayenne is a very potent flavor, and a lot of heat can come out of it, and you don't want to burn your mouth off. So 1, 2. So that is all of our ingredients. So you see there. Now I'm just going to whisk it together with a fork. Oh, it's so red. It's gonna be beautiful. And again, anything that I don't use here as I like really work it into the meat, I can keep in a glass container, and it keeps in your fridge for up to a year. So just give me a moment here while I break up the chunks of brown sugar and really try and make sure that it's all really incorporated. You know what? I bet that this rub would be really good on chicken too, which I'm probably gonna try doing later in the week. I got an idea, but you know, stay tuned. Okay. I'm just gonna go in with my fingers because I'm about to use my fingers to put this onto the meat. You cannot do this. Cannot do this without using your hands, unfortunately. So if you don't like touching raw meat, you might want to get somebody to help you with this. Okay. Oh my god, I wish you could smell this. This smells so good. See, it is all incorporated, and you can see those big, beautiful, chunky crystals of salt, all that paprika and cayenne. So, actually, I'm going to do something totally different. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it onto a tray on a metal rack, and I'm going to let that sit in the so that when it sits in the fridge, it can get some air circulation. Apparently, that helps build a better crust. So, this is going to sound silly, but I'm going to use this teeny tiny little rack and a pizza tray. See? It'll fit perfectly. That way, it doesn't take up a ton of room in my fridge, because again, we're learning how to do this on the fly, guys. There's no wrong answers, there's no right answers. And this is a bamboo board, so I am going to wash it after I take the raw meat off of it. Obviously, you don't want to die from trichinosis, guys. It's not a good look on anybody. Alright, so, completely untouched. We're going to take this, I'm going to pour it on, and what you want to do is you want to coat this. You want to make sure that every nook and cranny is absolutely, like, crusted in this, because that's really what's going to imbue the flavor. And then we leave it uncovered in the fridge for, I'm probably going to, let's see, it is about 1 o'clock. This is only going to take a couple hours. I like to eat a little later in the day, so I'm probably going to leave this bad boy to marinate for about 3 to 4 hours. I'll probably put it on the smoke to smoke around 5:30, 6 o'clock, depends on how the rest of my day goes. Because this can sit for hours. So here we go. Let us crust our pork loin, shall we? Oh, also really important that you don't contaminate your rub in case you want to save it. So use one hand to rub stuff in, and one hand to help pour it out if you want. I'm just going to try not to drop all of it onto my pork rib so I can use both hands. Alright, so you see here I'm really getting it all rubbed in there. You want to almost pat it in because you want it to just crust up as much as possible. I'm getting all the sides before I flip it over. Like, if you've got parts where it lifts up, just jam it in there. You need to make sure the end's taken care of. You want to make sure that the sides are taken care of. I've got some beautiful fat cap here on the ends of this pork loin. And I want to make sure, you almost want to make sure that you can't see any of the meat kind of shining through it. You want it all to be this gorgeous red and brown, because that is going to give you your flavor. So you just kind of want to work it in as much as, and it's, I'm sorry, this is going to sound dirty. You just want to work your meat until it'll take as much as it absolutely can. Just keep rubbing it in, keep forcing it into the nooks and crannies, because it is absorbing into the meat. That's why we didn't dry it off too thoroughly. I'm just, you know, just an average Sunday, rubbing pork. I'm so alone, guys. I'm so alone. Alright, so here we go. It's a brown sugar cayenne rubbed situation. All taken care of. Alright, so I'm going to put it on this rack. Ooh. see a spot that could have a little bit more in. And there we go. This bad boy's gonna go in the fridge for a couple hours. My hands are completely covered in rub. I'm gonna go wash them. And probably the next step will be making some sides. I was thinking maybe potato salad. We'll see how it goes. All right, we'll be back.